welcome. This is Chloe with Cousin DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little bookmark buddy using the straw weaving technique. I'm pretty much set up, so let's get started. The first step is to roll or wind your cording off from the packaging. And to do that, I just cut a little corner of the package off, very small, and I cut a little slit in one side of it. And then I found the end of each color cord, and I just stuck that cording down through that slit, and then I started wrapping. It really pays off to do this because otherwise your cord is probably going to get tangled on you while you work, and that can be very frustrating. So I've gone ahead and already done that. I think we'll start with this color. And the next step is to tape your straws, one end of your straws. You want your straws pretty close together, but you want a slight gap between them. So I took this piece, I'm going to lay my straws so there's a little gap between them. And I'll adjust that ever so slightly. And I'll finish wrapping that around the end. So that should be good. You'll see what I mean. There's just a little slight gap between the three straws. And the next step is to tie the end of your first color onto one of the outside straws. I'm just going to make a loose double knot. We'll hold that up out of the way. And this is where we start weaving. And during the weaving process, you want the weaving to be sort of snug, but not so tight that it will be difficult to slide off the straws. So to begin with, we'll go down around the middle straw, up around this, and we're just going to keep weaving back and forth. And once you get started, it gets a lot easier. Once we get going here, also it'll be easier to, you want to keep checking the tension on the straws to make sure you're going to be able to slide this off when we're all done. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and I'm going to work my way about a third of the way down the straw. Okay, now that I'm about a third of the way down, I'm going to switch my color to the multicolored cord here, hemp cord. When you pull this off the straw at the end, it gets so squished that it's always a question, have I gone far enough? I'll just do one more little wrap like that. And then I'm going to cut the cord, and then I'm going to tie these two cords together. And hopefully this little knot will get hidden between two straws. We'll just keep going. Okay, I've reached the point where I want to add my last color cord. And as you can see, my pattern, it's kind of like because of the variegation in the colors here, these multiple colors, I kind of started here with this, and you can see I've got the reverse going through here. So I think I kind of like to try to stop right about there. I think that would look cool. So I cut my cord a bit short, so I'm going to knot the cord that I'm adding. As close to the end of that, whoops. As close to the end of that as I can. Feels pretty secure, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the tails off. Try to get that hidden down in between there. I'm going to keep weaving. And so I cut this cord, leaving a very long tail. And then I'm just going to bring it back around, and I'm going to loosely bring the tail end back through like so, and then I'm going to leave that tail on there. And the next step is to slide some cords down through the middle of our straws. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the variegated cord for all of these. I'm going to cut them about 20 to 24 inches. Let's make it 24. And I want 2 to go down through the middle of each straw. There, I have my 6 cords. I'll take 2 of them. I find it easier to do this after you're done weaving rather than before, so the cords don't get mixed up with the weaving cords. I have about the same amount on either side. 2 more. Okay, so on the top of my Bookmark Buddy, I've made some little hair using beads to hold the knots in place. So I actually think I'm going to slide this end down a little bit. On this end of my beading buddy, this time I'm going to do my hair. So I'm going to join this cord with the other cords that I have sticking out that end. Making sure I have enough for my hair. And I'm going to start working my cords down my straws. And I got pretty snug here at the end in spite of my own advice, so we'll just be really patient. And at this point, I'm going to tie all these cords together. Now we're going to macrame 2 legs. And to do that, I want 3 cords, the first 3 filler cords on that side and the 3 ones here. And we're going to be, we have 2 groups. I'm just setting this one aside for now. We're going to have 2 groups of 3 cords. The middle cord of each group becomes the filler cord. And we're going to macrame the other 2 cords around that middle cord in a square knot. We're just going to keep macrameing. So I'm going to start that leg, and I'll start this leg while I'm at it just so they're nice and even and there's tension on the bottom of our straw weaving. I want to finish a square knot on this side. And then I'm going to move that out of the way, finish my first square knot on this side, then I'm just going to keep going until the leg, my first leg is as long as I want it. Now that I have my legs macrameed, I'm going to tie an overhand knot on each side just below the bottom knot to secure the cords all together. I'll do the same on this side. I want that knot to rest right up against that bottom knot. And then at this point we can trim this tail, and we'll trim for the feet. Next we're going to add the arms. And to do that, I'm going to leave the tape on. Let's see, what color do I want my arms? I think I want my arms to be this teal green. So I'm going, on each side, I'm going to do this separately. I'm going to cut one 12-inch cord and one 24-inch cord. And I'm going to find just above that, let's see, just above the middle where I use the multicolored cord, I'm going to slide these cords around the 2 filler cords that we put through that straw. One. And I do have to happen to have a reamer here, which just helps me open that up a little bit more to there. So I want the middle of these two cords pretty lined up. And the two shorter cords are going to be my inside, my filler cords. I'm going to form my square knots around the shorter cord. So two shorter ones are my filler, the longer ones are my working cords. And once I get started, it'll get a lot easier. Just want to make, I cut them extra long just so we have plenty of cord to work with, and we'll trim off the excess later. Before I trim it or do the overhand knot to finish it off, I'm going to flip it and do the other arm first. Now that I have my arms macrameed, I'm going to finish them off by tying overhand knots at the end. And next will be the hair, top of the head. So I'm going to take my middle three cords and slide on, tie an overhand knot. Snug up against the end of that bead. And then let's see, I'm doing orange. Put two cords through this one. Have an extra cord on this end because we pulled the we included the long tail of our weaving cord in when we tied this. And let's see, what else do I have? Do I want blue or do I want, I think I'm going to use the purple. And because this is hair, I'm going to leave this on the long side. You can always trim it shorter later. Now I want to decide which I want to be the front of my Bookmark Buddy, and I think I want this to be my front. And the last step is to glue on our eye or eyes. We use a little squirt of E6000. We'll dab. Really We really want to make sure we've got plenty of glue. And that will need to dry. Just keep adding it until there's enough to make that eye really. There, I think we've achieved that. These are so cute. And ta-da, we're done. They're friends. And they're going to help you hold your place in your books. Let's give it a try and see how it looks. If you make your own bookmark buddies, please share them with us on Instagram at #CreateWithCousin. Thanks so much for joining us today. See you next time. Bye.